Chaksurmilitam jena tasmai Shri Gurave namaha. Nama Shrestam Manavatpi Sachiputra Atra Surupam Rupam Tasya Graja Madhupurim Matrim Gostavatim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Jasya Pratita Kripaya Sri Gurun Tanmatosmi Nindantam Pulakot Korena Bikasam Nipa Prasunatstavim Prodrikripta Bujadvayam Hari Hari Ituchai Vidantam Muhu Nrittantam Drutamasru Nirjara Chaye Sinchantam Urvitalam Gayantam Nija Parashadaya Parivratam Sri Gaura Chandram Nama Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Jata Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatang Vitang Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakan Vitangscha. Yes.
We have a question from Dhananjay and Malini Didi from Russia.
When the question before about the Prapanna Jivanamritam, do you still have that?
I still have it, but we still don't.
Then just say it to me again.
Our teachers say that we should not try to serve Krishna directly. We must try to serve his servants. But in Sri Sri Prapanna Jivanamritam, a large number of shlokas are dedicated to the service of Krishna directly. For whom are these shlokas written, and how to bring it into harmony?
I wouldn't put it exactly like that. I would say that there are prayers to the Lord, but to use the expression direct service, I don't think that is indicated. And that's why I asked if there's some sloka that appears to be indicating that, I'd like to see it. But my understanding, there are prayers from the devotees to the Lord. Interestingly, very often, if anything, they're praying for some connection with his servitors. And these prayers are naturally by devotees. Or in the case of Mahaprabhu, and Guru Maharaj has that section, we should remember he's in the mood of a devotee. So like Najanam, Nasundarim, etc., Bhavatad Bhakti Rahoituki Twai is from the position of an aspiring servitor. Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitamam Vishame Bhavam Bhutho. That's from the point of view of an aspiring servitor, acknowledging heaven, being immersed in an ocean of nescience or forgetfulness. And when he says he aspires to be an atom of dust at the holy feet of the Lord, we're reminded at times when we hear Krishna Charan, the lotus feet of Krishna, that means his entourage, not that his lotus feet are conceived in isolation or divorced of any context. But what I would say, or what came to my mind reflecting upon this, because what is suggested there is inconsistent with our line of thought. The Rupanuga line, and as Guru Maharaj sometimes says, his best follower, Raghunath Das Goswami, says, Dashayate mama masastu rasastu nityam, sakayate mama namostu namostu nityam. That intimacy or direct connection, that is worshipable to me and kept above and my focus is upon dasya, servitorship or assistance. And Guru Maharaj would say, put it this way, if there is no superior servitor there of whom to be sheltered or take shelter of, then what would be my interest there? And this is from Das Goswami, who's the Prayojan Tattva Acharya, and has his secret identity in that plane. And he is expressing that sort of thing. So it's not something that's just targeting beginners. Like they will be told to move along these lines, but no, it's always and forever. And epitomized, and Srimati Radharani herself, who is promoting others in the service of Krishna. I've mentioned that within days of joining Krishna consciousness movement, they're trying to encourage the new devotees, and there's so many Prabhupada says, and we're told that Prabhupada said when, and I might have heard this when someone new comes, that Radharani goes to Krishna and says, appeals on their behalf, Krishna, you must accept them. They're better than me, which is impossible and inconceivable, but that is her heartfelt expression, and hinted at toward the end of Sri Chaitanya Charitamritam and the Antya Lila, and Srila Guru Maharaj is interpreting, saying that she wants to promote others. And that in itself is a very beautiful thing. She wants to promote others for, you can say, direct service to Krishna. She's trying to arrange that. Right? And the way Guru Maharaj portrays this is that she's saying, but in some instances, there is no one who can do the desired service except herself. Right? Very filled with a type of sweet humility. But she wants to promote others. But her mood being reflected in the hearts of her servitors, they not only want to promote others, but really they want to promote her. Because they're saying this will be beneficial for everyone. Maha Bhav Swarupini Radha Thakurani. No one can extract more superior quality and quantity of Krishna than her. In this world, famous people like Aishwarya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, when you come in, go this way, otherwise you'll discourage others from entering. And you wouldn't want to do that. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruti, the different ways that you're possess opulence in this world, wealth, fame, etc. Often, such people complain of not being able to be themselves. It's not limited to them. Even we feel that way. At times, people always say, they feel in certain circumstances around certain people, they cannot be themselves. Or they have to adopt a certain persona to deal with others, to put on a face, to greet the faces, the many faces that we greet, and along these lines. Right? So it's a sentiment we share to a certain degree personally, but it's ratcheted up according to the magnitude of name, fame, beauty, wealth, etc. Right? Can't be themselves, or fully be themselves, or be their true selves, and variations of that theme. So, interestingly, there's a parallel But here we have to be very careful about this kind of analysis, because Krishna is Akila Rasamrita Murti, which means he's reciprocating actually everyone, not just the devotee section. You know, he's reciprocating everyone's heart, actually. Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hrit saroja ashe shrutekshita pato nanunata pungsang. And we're reminded here that spiritual seeing takes place through hearing, as a sidebar. Hearing the expressions of devotees gives us insight into Krishna conception. But here we're told, the Bhagavatam, Tvam bhakti yoga paribhavita hrit saroja. It's saying, like the lotus of the heart of the devotee, the Lord is seated on the lotus of the heart of the devotee as they love him. As they love him, the sort of love and affection they have, he's reciprocating that. He's very kind and loving and sensitive. They love him in a particular way, he's reciprocating that. That's a wonderful thing. But it allows for variegated relationships and levels and degrees of loving relationships. So he's reciprocating that. Right? And, you know, and Santa Dasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhura. Right? And simultaneously to everyone. But from his side, where can Krishna fully be, and with whom can he fully be himself? Right? The way that everyone aspires to. He also wants to be the way he is without any other type of persona or not a barrier, but almost like a filter or a profile, a countenance. There are many different ways this could be expressed. Right? But best expressed in the analysis of Srila Rupa Goswami, who's the qualified person to make that sort of analysis. But that Sri Rupa means Rupa Nuga line, Das Goswami, Kaviraj Goswami. So what we're told really is that Krishna can only fully, truly be himself in all his, unfiltered sweetness at the side of Srimati Radharani. She brings out Krishna's best. Right? Krishna at his sweetest, his most loving, affectionate, everything imaginable. She brings that out of him. He can be that with her. Right? So that she humbly says there's some service that only she can do, that calls for her specifically, and she steps forward to take up that service, but otherwise trying to bring others in connection. Right? So Das Goswami's prayer, which Guru Maharaj gives emphasis to, Ashavare Amrita Sindhu Mayi Katanchit Kalo Mayati Kilatam Sampratami Tvam Chet Kripam Maya Vidasa Shinaiva Kim Me Prane Brajena Chabororu Bakarinapi. When we say line, like we talk of the Rupanuga line, but what we have to remember is like their particular level of exclusivity, right? Which could be described as a type of fanaticism, in a good sense, right? But not blind, oblivious faith, but on the basis of substance and the most inconceivable substantial gain beyond imagination. So he says in his prayer, and I can preface this remarks by saying, one thing is, if you want to learn to pray, you become familiar with the prayers of devotees. It's just like, if you wanted to be a poet, you would be told to read poetry, right? You understand? Oh, I want to be a poet, then it would be, we would understand all these poets, and the poets would tell you, read poetry, read what other poets have written, and then that will resonate in your heart. And interestingly, as your heart resonates with what has been expressed, it will simultaneously develop the qualifications for personal expression in the future. You'll become qualified. So through hearing again, by hearing what has been expressed, and your heart resonating with that, it will become qualified for similar expression, but unique. Right? So Guru Maharaj's compilation in Prapanna Jivanamritam, when you're hearing from all these different devotees, and even Mahaprabhu himself, Krishna and mood of a devotee, and from the scriptures, all these different statements, so that, and they're resonating in the heart. Sometimes according to particular necessities, some things is strong than another, but in time, as it's resonating with us, we're assimilating the qualifications to make personal prayerful expressions in the future. So we learn to pray by hearing prayers. And that's what's given there. But Srila Guru Maharaj has emphasized particularly this prayer of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and pointed out, interestingly, he said, it is a direct prayer to Srimati Radharani. Right? So, in general, people understand, they pray to God, in the most general sense, to the Lord, to God. And we can say devotees pray to Krishna. Sometimes we call out to Krishna. We feel hopeless, helpless, desperate. Naturally, we call out to our Lord. That's understandable and a good thing. But these higher devotees, and particularly in this case of Raghunath Das Goswami, why it's an eye-opener and deserves emphasis and scrutiny, as Guru was saying, this is a direct prayer to Srimati Radharani. And I remember when I first heard that, I thought, you can do that? I thought, like, he can do that. I don't have any doubt or that Das Goswami can, but even then, that's shocking. Where's Krishna in all of this? Is he okay with that? Direct prayer to Radharani but if someone said, yes, how can you support that? It's a contradiction for what you normally say. No, it's not. Because we put the emphasis on the devotee. We're always saying substantial Krishna connection comes through connection with the devotees, and association means service. Otherwise, what is the meaning? Right? Without service, without a service connection. Sevan mukhe hij, So we're always putting emphasis on the devotee, and have we forgotten that not only is she a devotee, but the supreme devotee? She embodies the supreme devotion to Krishna. So then, how beautiful and strategic and wonderful is Das Goswami. He's praying to her. And that's why when we come in connection with Srila Guru Maharaj, our Krishna conception shifts from Krishna being primary and Radharani and secondary to Radharani being primary and Krishna secondary. That happens when you come in connection with Guru Maharaj. This remarkable transformation of priority. It's life-altering. Right? And Srila Guru Maharaj himself mentions that in Brajamandal Parikrama of Vrindavan, Saraswati Thakur is there with his disciples, followers, and Guru Maharaj's words, pet disciple of Srila Saraswati Thakur, Paramananda Prabhu, who was very young, like a teenager. He had just been out by Radha Kunda and Shama Kunda and saw this Maharaj of Bharatpur and his queen and family. They're doing the, measuring dandavats, where you can circumambulate, by walking and chanting, or you can say some prayer, give dandavat, and then move up one body length and repeat until you circumambulate that way. Okay. We might add, I think it is imitative of the Goswamis. But anyway, so he is very excited to see this and came back to share what he saw with Srila Saraswati Thakur. And he said, they have so much devotion to Radharani. He was shocked. He thought that was something exclusive to Prabhupada, Saraswati Thakur, and Sri Gaudiya Math, and was surprised to see that level of regard and others. Right? And Saraswati Thakur said, yes, but there was a big difference between them and us. And he said, they worship Srimati Radharani because she is dear to Krishna. He said, we worship Krishna because he is dear to Radharani. And although generally how do you say, sides taken, or the Vaishnavas on one side and the Shaktas on the other side. Shaktas means the worship of Shakti, or the feminine aspect. Like the followers of, Ma Kali, Durga Devi, etc. And they're in opposition to the Vaishnavas. So the Shaktas and the Vaishnavas. But he surprised his disciples and he said, we are actually Shuddha Shaktas. The Shaktas are always the enemies, so to speak, otherwise. He said, we're Shaktas. We're Shuddha Shaktas. We're not worshiping, we're not offending, but we're not, as they are, worshiping Devi. But, Devi, Krishnamayi, Prokta, Radhika, Sarvata, the supreme Devi, the supreme goddess of fortune, Srimati Radharani. We're her followers. We worship her. So we are Shuddha Shaktas. And as it says in Brahma, Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanani Bibharti Durga. That Durga Devi, by extension, Devi, Durga Devi, Ma Kali, is a Chayeva Yasya, shadow of the Chit Shakti. Okay. They're saying we're Shuddha Shaktas. We worship Radharani for us is in the primary position, and Krishna is in the secondary position. So only through her do we have connection with him. Right. So, and this is announced by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, again Guru Maharaj is saying, the best student in the Rupanuga line. He's making this clear. And how clear? Ashabari Amrita. We should say that, remember, in the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, Raghunath Das Goswami came to the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, leaving, Sri, Apsara, Sama, Indra, Aishwarya, Sama, wealth comparable to Indra, and a wife as beautiful as an Apsara. And as the wife, what did the husband say to the wife? His mom wanted to chain him to like a column so that he wouldn't run away. And his father said, if having a wife as beautiful as an Apsara and wealth comparable to Indra, if that doesn't bind him, what good is a chain? He said, for someone who's become a madman for Chaitanya Chandra. Actually, what they're saying is very beautiful. And Krishna, both sides are always beautiful. They're supporting one another, right? Allowing for these sentiments to be expressed. So it's like sweet opposition, lila pushti. It's nourishing the lila. That's why there's drama, lila, pastimes. And so these things will come out, more intense emotion, more intense love. Right? Not just whimsical play. Of course, that said, Guru Maharaj once said, prepare yourself to surrender yourself to a whimsical absolute. And we start sweating. And want to read the fine print before signing on, right? To become the fodder for a whimsical absolute. God knows what he might do. Oh. Only that Das Goswami, like a madman, runs to Puri, joins Mahaprabhu's party, and what? He's put under the care of Swarup Damodar. Right. And after some time, he says to Mahaprabhu, I would like some personal instruction from you. And Mahaprabhu says, that I can give, and he gives these wonderful instructions. But don't misunderstand it. The reason I put you under the care of Swarup Damodar is what I don't know, he knows fully. And that's very revealing. What could that possibly be but lost in the divine madness of Srimati Radharani, which is terra incognita, right? Radha Bhavaduti Subolita for Krishna. Now as Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar is Lalita Saki, who assists Radharani when she is plunged in the depths of separation. So he's saying, I want you to learn that, to assist in that. So Das Goswami becomes the most qualified. Remember, Chaitanya Charitamrita comes from him. It's the supreme literature, comes from him via Das Goswami. Swarup Damodar via Das Goswami to Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. So it's not like Raghunath Das Goswami is a peripheral player. It's pivotal. And that Das Goswami is so exclusive to Radharani and Lalita Saki that with Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar leaving the world, you know, what would we say, raison d'etre, his reason for being has ceased. So he's thinking he can't bear the separation of Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar. So he makes a plan to go see Radha Kunda, Giriraj Govardhan, and then thinks, you know, giving my heartfelt dandavats there, then I will ascend the Govardhan and then commit suicide. And as a sidebar, devotees sometimes feel these sort of intense feelings. They don't do that. So no one should misread into this. Anything. It's a feeling that comes to them, like, what is the use of my life and going on living in this world? And we're talking in a highly contextualized, deep, spiritually substantial context. And even then, they don't. Right? Because this body belongs to Guru and Krishna and should be used in their service and not cause them any disturbance. But the feeling is there. And when he arrives, he finds life again in Rupa and Sanatan, saying, our Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar not here. So he's seeing that connecting thread. As Guru Maharaj once said, the infinite has infinite alternatives. Right? So if such someone who, of his stature, can see a connecting thread from Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar to Rupa and Sanatan, then what to speak of others? Right? So, but that Das Goswami in this prayer, Ashavare Amrita Sindhu Mayi Katanchit, the reason I've been going on with my life is in my heart I've held this aspiration for the service of your holy lotus feet. Radha Dasyam. That is the prayer of a substantial devotee. Radha Dasyam. Because she's the best. No one can serve Krishna like her. No one has a better idea of how to serve Krishna than her. My only aspiration is the service of your holy lotus feet. And if that has been withdrawn from me, that prospect, then what reason do I have to live? It says, Ashavare Amrita Sindhu Mayi Katanchit Kalo Mayati Kila Sampatitam Prane Brajena cha bororu. Yeah. Okay. So pran means life. What is the value of my life without this prospect of the service of your holy lotus feet? And what is even more valuable than my life? Okay. Generally, what do we think is more valuable than our life? Right? We always hear of self-preservation and such things. You know, but here, and what would that be? Prane brajena. Said Vrindavan, right? Which he said that is of no value to me without you. This is very revealing. And you say, no, but I mean, the Krishna, and you know, and it's the land of Krishna. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in a song, Radha Padman Kitatam Vrindavan Jaranam. Really, Vrindavan proper is that soil, Chinmoy soil, that is embellished with the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. That's Vrindavan proper. That soil of dedication, level of dedication, self-giving, self-sacrifice. Then that is, so and it's consistent. So he's saying, if that soil, if I don't have Radha Dasyam, then what is that? What kind of Vrindavan is that? Not for me. So what's more valuable than my own life is Vrindavan, the plain service plane of our aspiration. That of no value, of no prospect. It becomes a fiction, a fantasy. He's not even entertaining the fantasy of that. Prane cha brajena cha bororu bakarinapi. And in the words of Srila Guru Maharaj, the last thing he expresses, see, it's ratcheting up in terms of intensity. And the last thing he says, Guru Maharaj said, I know it is a shameful thing to say, but without you, Krishna is a dreadful thing. Right? No, I know. Yang Shama Sundaram Achintya Guna Surupam. Reality, the beautiful Krishna. Krishna's so sweet, so beautiful, charming. You're saying he's a dreadful thing? Yes, without you. What is her Bakari? Baka, Bakasura, Bakari, means the killer of Baka, like a demon killer. Like, ooh, not that Krishna. That's what Krishna looks. Without you, you bring out all of his sweetness, his beauty, seductive charm. It all comes out fully in your presence. And therefore, I want to serve your holy lotus feet. And without you, and Prabhupada said it sometimes in some way, he would say, you know, without Radharani, Krishna is not so beautiful. Guru Maharaj, he heard that and he liked that. He just said it so sweetly and simply. But Das Goswami is saying it with such fervor and a dramatic intensity, ratcheting it up and saying, and Krishna himself is of no use to me without you. That is the prayer of the superior devotees and the leaders of this line that we're aspiring servitors. Right? And wherever that's reflected in varying degrees, we bow to that. So Guru Maharaj has collected all these expressions from the hearts of the devotees, aspiring and self-surrender, dedication, but this particular prayer of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, he revisited many times and emphasized its importance. Additionally, telling us that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur meticulously suppressed the expression of spiritual emotions. There are eyewitness accounts from his senior disciples of seeing at different times waves of ecstasy playing upon his divine form. They could observe that. But he tried to meticulously suppress genuine spiritual emotions. Why? To not mislead others. It's a natural tendency of disciples, particularly in the lower section, they imitate their guru. Sometimes it's like children, they imitate their dress or their movement or language or some superficial aspects, style. But then there's other instances where they want to imitate their sentiments. We're told, there's anukar, anusar, to imitate and to follow. Following and imitating are not the same thing. It's understandable. Children will imitate their parents up to a point. Then they have to grow out of that. The disciples have to grow out of it. Right? So not to encourage the artificial display of spiritual emotions, sahajaism, which is the enemy of pure devotion, right? To discourage that. He was meticulously suppressing spiritual emotions. But that's it. And we know whenever we see a picture of him, like here, he's always the epitome of gravitas. Right? But Srila Guru Maharaj, much to my surprise, said, this particular sloka, sometimes behind closed doors with an intimate circle of senior followers, he would be found to be wailing uncontrollably, crying uncontrollably with this heartfelt expression for the service of the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. That is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Sri Barsha Bhanavi Devi Doitaya, Doita Das. While others are, posers, making an ostentatious display of achievement and finding some sloka that with some erotic overtones to try and convince you of their inside position. He's taking this sloka, which is a service aspiration for the holy lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. And if that prospect is not there, that brings him to tears. He feels it in his heart to that depth. Right? So, Srila Guru Maharaj said also on that Brajamandal Parikrama, he said our Guru Maharaj's statements were mostly revolutionary. Right? And he, having completed the Dham Parikrama with Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, heard from him and reiterated to his disciples the statement. He said, you all know Vrindavan is for the shallow, hollow thinkers. A man of real bhajan will prefer Kurukshetra. And in Srila Guru Maharaj's words, he said, I fell as if out of the top of a tree. That's what his response to hearing that was. Just think about that. So he's one of the senior disciples of Srila Saraswati who can interpret what he means. When Srila Saraswati Thakur would give lectures, afterwards, 2 or 3 devotees would have to explain what he just said to everyone who was there. Guru Maharaj was one of them. So we would explain and this is a group of people born in Bengal, Gautamandal, they know Sanskrit, they studied Sanskrit in school, they were brought up in Vaishnava families. He had to explain to them what Saraswati Thakur had just spoken. They're simple-hearted Vaishnavas, they're listening, but Guru Maharaj is there to explain. And that Guru Maharaj, our Guru Maharaj, when he heard this statement from Saraswati Thakur, he said, I fell as if out of the top of a tree. That up to this point we're hearing, Vrindavan, that's the highest place, reserved for the highest section of liberated souls. The greatest devotees of Krishna. And now Guru Maharaj is saying, that's for shallow, hollow people. And a caution here, this is highly contextual, these sentiments being expressed. And then he explains why, and Kurukshetra, that will be the place? We think, oh, Kurukshetra, but that's Bhagavad Gita? No, not Bhagavad Gita, Kurukshetra. The Kurukshetra where Krishna, queens of Dwarka, they go to Kurukshetra from the solar eclipse, and Radharani and Brajagopis come from Vrindavan, and they meet there after 100 years of separation. So the parallel being, Vrindavan is land of union. Here is not only separation, but separation at its zenith point. And Guru Maharaj introduced this expression saying, service, according to the intensity of its necessity, draws remuneration. Service, according to the intensity of its necessity, draws remuneration. The necessity, the intensity of necessity has reached its zenith point in Kurukshetra because of 100 years of separation. For the same Brajagopis who cannot tolerate the blink of an eye's separation from Krishna. I mean, just as it's mentioned, Vishwanath Chakrabarti Thakur, in the Bhagavatam, that the Rasa Leela is a night of Brahma. Sahasra Yuga Parjantam Ahoryat Brahmano Vidu. Means 1,000 yuga cycles. It means 4,300,000,000 years. When Krishna surveyed the scene and gave the indications to Yogamaya to cast and script Rasa Leela, how do you say, 4,300,000,000 nights were combined as one. So we see in Krishna Leela the expansion and contraction of time and space being employed in divine pastimes. And that book published by Sripad Bhakti Premik Siddhanti Maharaj, collecting the talks of Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj, Religion of the Heart, mentions perhaps near the beginning this, as a Chandidas, I think, Shamanam, so saying, Radharani will never be satisfied by any amount of union with Krishna, nor the Brajagopis. There's not some point where they say, oh, now we've had enough. They will always be left in the hankering position for more. Right? So what is their impression after the Rasa Leela of 4,300,000,000 year night? They're saying, it was like the blink of an eye. It went so fast. What happened? Now we're left here hankering. Right? And the same Brajagopis, but so that's one direction. Right? Going in the opposite direction, that is their impression of union. It was like the blink of an eye, we're left in the hankering position. On the other side, separation, atati adbhavan anikananam trutiryu gayate tamapashutam kutilakuntalam srimukham jite yada udikshitam pakshmakridrasham in the Gopi Gita. They say, they're cursing Brahma, the creator. And you think, the audacity, these are teenage girls, and they're nice girls. You know, they're well behaved, they do everything properly, but their heart the flow of their hearts cannot be restrained, constrained. They can't conceal their anger, upset towards Brahma, the creator, for making eyes that blink. They're thinking he's stupid, right? That he made eyes that blink. He doesn't know how to make eyes properly. They should not blink, because when they blink, then we're not seeing Krishna. Right? And what does it say? Trutir yugayate tomapasyatam. There's the word yuga, and they're saying, and what is that blinking, the moments of separation from Krishna like? Like a yuga, sahasra yuga, like a day of Brahma, night of Brahma. It's intolerable. So it shows the comparative relative intensity of separation versus union. All of that union was like the blink of an eye. The blink of an eye in separation is like forever. It's more intense. So then what to speak of 100 years of separation? Inconceivable. And at last they're meeting. This opportunity, how much anticipation, eagerness for that moment, and at last it has come, and Krishna is before them, and they cannot conceal their disappointment. Why? Because Shama Sundar Krishna, Shama Goparoop, no. He's not as a Gopa, a cowherd boy, no, like Saki Murali, no, his friend the flute is not there. He's dressed as a king. This is not the Krishna of their hearts. So how can we ever seriously consider any other sort of theistic notion? Right? If Dwaraka Krishna, what to speak of Vaikuntha Narayan, Dwaraka Krishna is not good enough for the Brajagopis, and they are the leaders of the Krishna consciousness movement. And of course, Radharani has to represent their position. Ahuschate nalina nava padaravindam yogeshware Hridi Vichinda Magada Bodhai Sangsara Kupa Patito Taranavalam Geham Jashamapi Manasuryat Sadana. She says to Krishna, it's very sweet, she's basically saying like, we're fallen householders. Sangsara Kupa. There's some town in Bengal. What is the name of that place? It's like Kutamba. Like there's a famous slogan that says, Kutamba Baranenaba, means like the worst type of mundane, like just lost in family life. And that's the name of that village in West Bengal, Kutamba. I thought, they gotta be kidding, but they're not. But anyway, so unless they meant it like this, then there's some, the Bengalis are clever. So there could be something else going on there. So, our dandavats to the people of Kutumba. Kutumba Baranenaba. Sukadev, not happy about it. But anyway, she's saying that Ahustate Nalina Naba Padarvin, saying all these beautiful things about Krishna, and previously you sent Uddhava to us and told us we should enroll in yoga class and learn how to meditate. God is everywhere. Krishna might have thought that was funny, but they did not laugh. God is everywhere. I mean, it's borderline cruel for Krishna to say, God is everywhere, learn to meditate. What do you need me for? And she's saying, no, we only need you. We're not yogis, we're not, if any, we look like karmis, I guess. Right? Aprakrita Leela, just a bunch of karmis absorbed in family life. But the difference is, we want family life with you. That's the difference between us and these so-called karmis. And we'll never be gyanis. We're not interested in meditating. God is everywhere, kind of thing. So we did not appreciate that. The letter was ostensibly to make us feel better, and if anything, we were just upset. And you know what we want? We want you. We won't be satisfied with anything less than the return of your lotus feet to Vrindavan. What did we hear before? Radha Padman Kitadam Vrindavan Jaranam Anyara Hridayaman Moraman Vrindavan. It's really the heart of Srimati Radharani, a construct of the heart of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, Krishna can never leave Vrindavan, actually. It's a play to amplify the intensity of emotion and longing, hankering, bring separation to the breaking point, to its death-like intensity, and then Krishna, the big reveal. So, she pleased their case to him. And Krishna's response makes her happy. Mai bhakti arhibhutanam amritataya kalpate dishtadmana sinmatsneho bhavatinam madapana. Just like we said before, as we conceive, Krishna is responding to that. What do you think? But one case, the karmis, those who are trying to escape impending karmic reaction, right? That's what it means when like, oh, there's stuff coming. on the basis of what I've done, particularly in this life. God knows what I did before. And it's approaching, so then Krishna, save me. Right? That kind of thing. Karmis, Gyanis, they're trying to discern ultimate reality through intellectualism and so this and yogis, meditating on the Lord in the heart, Paramatma is their target. Sometimes devotees forget that Paramatma is not the target of the devotees. Bhagavan, proper being Lakshmi Narayan, Rukmini, Dwarkadish, Radhan, Krishna. Paramatma, you don't see Shakti accompanying Paramatma. Upadrashta, overseer, observer, neutral. Not the object of the bhaktas, of bhakti yoga. Right? Young Shyama Sundaramachinti, and also, what is it? Premanjana Churita Bhakti Velochanena, Santaksa Deva Hridayeshu Velokayanti. What do the devotees see in their heart of hearts? Young Shyama Sundaramachinti Gunasvarupam. Not Paramatma. Shyama Sundar Krishna. So Krishna's saying, actually, it's good for the karmis to come in connection with me, for the jnanis to come in connection with me, for the yogis to come in connection with me. That's a fact, an indisputable fact, and understandable. And the inconceivable treasure to be God. But said, I consider it my good fortune. So if anyone gets connected with me, karmis, jnani, yogi, that's their good fortune. But I consider it my good fortune to come in connection with the sort of love and affection that you have for me in your hearts. And Krishna is speaking sincerely. He's saying, that for me is the most inconceivable, valuable treasure. What's in your heart. And I cannot live without that for a moment. And although that it appears that I left Vrindavan, I live in Dwarka, actually it's through expansions. And read the Laghu Bhagavatamritam of Rupa Goswami, explains it all there. It's complicated. But I'm always with you. The whole Dwarka thing is a show to bring out this type of love and affection you have for me. I could never leave you for a moment. And when this play is over, I'll be in your midst in a few days. And Radharani says, all right, we can go now. He is always and only ours. And we're told, incidentally, in Garga Samhita, the queens of Dwarka request a Rasa Leela. They've heard about it. And Radharani and some of the Brajagopi, they have a Rasa Leela before them. The queens of Dwarka want to see this. And they're so astonished and offering so much praise. And Radharani says, you should see the original. This is what we could do on short notice in another location. But in the original, Vrindavan, banks of this does not compare to that. Only nothing less than that will satisfy her. So, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, as at the right hand of Srimati Radharani. So, no one delivers superior quality or quantity of Krishna than her. But her service necessity reaches its greatest intensity in Kurukshetra, because she can't meet with Krishna in the desired way. Dwarka Krishna, Radharani, Vrindavan. So, and Guru Maharaj gave that example of the football game. soccer, football, when he's saying the field, when the ball's in the midfield and going this side, that side, back and forth, people are just watching. But if it comes close to the goal and they almost score and just miss the goal, and we've heard it at our London Mott, there on Green Street, there was that, West Ham team would play, and you hear 100,000 people in unison groan. They missed the goal, and you hear, oh! And Devashish Prabhu told me they had a billboard in London that said, some people think football is like life and death. And they said, it's more important than that. They can say that about that. And 100,000 people can groan in unison because they got so close to the goal and just missed. So Guru Maharaj is always giving a perfect example, saying, Radharani and the Braja Gopis, 100 years of separation, they're coming, and there's Krishna, the goal, and they miss. Because it's Dwarka Krishna, not Shama Goparoop. Vrindavan Krishna in the cowherd dress with his flute on the banks of the Jamuna with all his divine paraphernalia. The sweet sound of his flute and everything else arranged by Yoga Maya. All those Braja, they're groaning. Oh, such a great loss. And that's when Krishna said, the kind of love you have for me in my heart, he just said, I reciprocate, but I have to admit my defeat here. I cannot reciprocate. Even by giving myself to you fully would not be commensurate to the sort of love and affection you have in your hearts for me. Na pareham nirabhadya samyudam shloka. And then Guru Maharaj comes to our aid, saying, but as Mahaprabhu, then what will he do? Compensatory. Krishna will come as Mahaprabhu and sing the praises of Radharani and Braja Gopis to the world. That he can do. He can't reciprocate the sort of love, but he can tell everyone else about it. Yari gorna hoita tabiki hoita kemori dori tam dehe Radhar mahima prema rasasima jagata janata ke. As Vasu Ghosh saying that if Gauranga had not come down, we wouldn't know this. This is the substance of the Krishna consciousness movement. There is no more Krishna consciousness, qualitatively and quantitatively, to be found than in the heart of Srimati Radharani. So in a sense, the Krishna consciousness movement is an extension of her heart. How wonderful is that? That's the grace of our Guru Varga. This is what Srila Prabhupada brought to the world, more, how shall we say, expressly indicated by Srila Guru Maharaj. And to this day, by the grace of Guru and Vaishnava, we're giving some opportunity to connect to that plane. That gives value to our lives. If Das Goswami says, without that prospect, what is the meaning of life? With that prospect, how valuable is life? Right? That prospect lies before us in service to Guru and Gauranga, the guidance of Guru and Vaishnava. Hare Krishna. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. The thing I forgot to say is that draws remuneration. Service according to its intensity draws, intensity of necessity draws remuneration. So Radharani, since her service necessity is so great, at its greatest need. Bhaktivinoda Thakur was saying, if you can serve in that plane, because bhajan means direct service, not abstract thinking. So he's saying, so if you can enter that plane and render service there, he said, there's no chance of ever coming, to the regular world ever again. And Guru Maharaj made this point, and this is the strategy of those in the Rupanuga line, that we can say, without going into the details, which we couldn't do anyway, but that after you go to, Ado Shraddha, Sarusanga Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti Nishta, Ruchi, Ashakti Bhav, Prem, then you have Prem, Pranay, Rag, Man, Rag, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav. So the level of Krishna Prem called Bhav, that's the zenith point of achievement and expression for jiva souls. Okay? And others. And Mahabhav being the exclusive domain of Srimati Radharani and Mahaprabhu. Okay? Radha Bhava Duty Subalita. But Guru Maharaj said, so what's beyond the constitutional capacity of a jiva soul to experience? Mahabhav. That out of gratitude to her servitors, rendering service at the time of her greatest necessity for assistance, that Radharani turns to them and says, like he has a plate of Mahabhav and says, here, taste what we're tasting. So what's beyond the constitutional capacity to experience? She's giving them a taste of that. And Srila Guru Maharaj said, once you've had a taste of that divine substance, what to speak of all other taste, all other rasas become tasteless. And that's the Rupanuga line, and that's what's being promoted and emphasized so much by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, and echoed, and the intensity and the expressions of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and his followers. Gopal Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra Garadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Jai Go Jai Kori Charana Bandhan Jaha Hoite Vignanas Abhishta Puran Jai Go Jai Jar Mui Taro Dan Kansabara Padarenu Mora Panchagras Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanevas Janame More Ei Avilas Jai Go Jai Jabe Braje Koilovas Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korilo Prakash Vaishnava Padma Koriyas. Harinam Sankirtan Kohe Narottamadas. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaur Hari Bo. Nitai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gaur Hari Bo. Jayam Vishnu Bhad Paramahansa Paribraja Kacharya Sathar Sada Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnu Bhad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Saparikar Sri Sri Guru Gauranga Gandharva Govinda Sundar Jiu Ki Jai. Sri Giriraj Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Sri Gupta Govardhan Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Jamuna Devi Bhakti Devi Tosi Devi Ki Jai. Om Vishnu Bhad Vishvavarenya Sri Lesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mata Charja Brinda Ki Jai. Jai Srila Bhakti Bimala Vidut Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Sri Lekadidi Ki Jai. Seva Brinda Ki Jai. Somaveda Bhakta Brinda Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanande.
Srila Bhakti Sudhir Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna.
And our traditional Dandavats. Praneshwari Didi USA. Humble pranams to Maharaj and all the assembled devotees online and on site. Sahadevi Didi, Portland, USA. Dandavats Maharaj and all the assembled devotees, thank you. Mahavirya Prabhu, Canada. Dandavat, thank you again for your first class service. Pranam Maharaj, thank you for the ecstatic lecture. Victor, London, UK.
Hare Krishna.
Madhu Mangal Prabhu, UK, London. Srila Goswami Maharaj, Srila Vadut Maharaj, Sri Lekha Didi, Sri Changmai Devotee Ki Jai. Krishna Kanti, USA. Dandavat Pranams to Srila Sudhir Goswami Maharaj and the devotees feeling grateful for our connection. And Tapanandini Didi, Damodar Priya Prabhu, Rasheshwari Didi, Brazil. Dhananjaya Prabhu, Siberia, Russia. Pranatapal Prabhu, Australia. Prithu Prabhu.
What name?
Pranatapal.
Okay.
Prabhu, Australia. Prithu Prabhu, Latha. Praneshwari Didi.
Prithu Prabhu.
Praneshwari
The light
Didi.
of Lakta. The sweet light of Lakta.
Praneshwari Didi, Florida, USA. Ananda Lila Didi, Kuladri Prabhu, Jayananda Prabhu, Mexico. And Madhumita Didi, USA.
Hare Krishna. My dandavats to all the Vaishnavas. Hare Krishna. Give this to Jaganmata Didi. She's the mother of our Siberian mission. Subhada's the daughter. Spiritually speaking. Hare Krishna.
Microphone.